Here we are, Home Daily Bible Reading, Saturday, April 18th. Mordecai advances the welfare of the Jews. It's coming out of the book of Esther, the last chapter, chapter 10, verses 1 through 3. And that's all that's in there, verses 1 through 3. And the king Ahasuerus laid tribute upon the land, upon the isles of the sea, all the acts of his power and of his might, and the declaration of his greatness of Mordecai, whereunto the king advanced him, are they not written in the book of the Chronicles of the kings of Media and Persia? For Mordecai the Jew was next unto King Ahasuerus, and great among the Jews, and accepted of the multitude of his brethren, seeking the wealth of his people, and speaking peace to all his seed. So Mordecai is a great man. He did not start out in Persia as a great man. He was a great man, but he was not next to the king. So we have to go back to the first part of the lesson where Esther was made queen because the king had gotten rid of his first wife because she would not do due diligence for him, would not perform in front of his friends after they had had a few days of feasting. Esther follows along. She becomes queen. And then Mordecai sits at the gate because his niece is in the king's palace. And so she talks to him regularly. And then this man who is close to the king named Haman comes along. Haman is elevated. He is one of the chief princes among the people for King Ahasuerus or Xerxes. But Mordecai does not bow down to him. Haman gets angry and he says, well, let me do something about it. And he figures that he is going to destroy not just Mordecai, but all of the people that have the same blood running through them as Mordecai, and that would be Jews. So in the meantime, what's in the works is that Esther goes before the king and says, King, can you please let you and Haman come to a dinner with me? The king says yes. They go to dinner with her, and then she says, well, give me a second day, come again. When they come the second day, the treachery that Haman has planned, Mordecai wanting to kill Mordecai, wanting to kill all of the Jews, is exposed to the king, and then he finds out that his wife, Esther, is also a Jew. So, long story short, Haman is killed. Mordecai gets elevated because he's done some other things along. Mordecai takes over Haman's house and all of his possessions and all of the things that are there. And Mordecai and Esther prevented the Jews from being killed wholesale on that day. They established Purim and that kind of thing. The king elevated Mordecai next to him. He has all kinds of wealth. He has all kinds of power. And Mordecai does not misuse this power. He seeks the wealth of his people, and he speaks peace to all of the seed of the Jerusalem, all of the seed of the Jews. So Mordecai was planted in this place for this reason, for this time, just like Esther being planted in this place, in that season, for that time. And that's our lesson on the book of Esther. And so it comes out of chapter 10 of the book of Esther, the only three verses in chapter 10. So thank you for the Home Daily Bible Reading.